Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Mindful Monday. If this is your first time joining us, feel free to place in the comments where you're coming from, if you have any questions, comments, if you have a topic you'd like to hear covered in the future, we love to hear that. Also, if it's your first time, if you write the word mindful after the broadcast, of course, I will come back and I'll put a link that you can follow to get a free recording, a hypnotic recording I created about releasing limiting beliefs, as well as our weekly Mindful Monday PDF, which is a cheat sheet, kind of bullet points of what we cover today. All right. So today we're here to talk about how to use I statements to resolve conflicts in a healthy way. So the holidays are coming, folks. It's already November. The clocks fell back. Can't believe it. It feels like it was summer yesterday. So when all this stuff starts happening, sometimes conflict starts coming up more, and it could be at home or, in the office. So I like to kind of cover a conflict kind of Mindful Monday as we come on these times. So what is an I statement, you might be asking? Well, obviously it's not saying you, but according to Dr. Kelsey Latimer, PhD, I statements are those in which we come at something that bothers us from our own point of view to express our reality. And they're not intended to put anyone else down. So when you're saying you, it's kind of pushing the blame off on somebody else. So I statements are much more useful than those you statements because they express the speaker's feelings and needs, while you statements are going to highlight how the speaker views the listener and places blame upon them, like I said. And it also has assumptions and projections when we're saying you something. So I statements show personal accountability by acknowledging and understanding basically that we are taking into account our own responsibility for our emotions, basically. So a good I statement is going to have two parts, and that's going to be the feeling, the thought, or the need, as well as the observation. So an example of this would be, I feel frustrated when you walk away while I'm talking. So the feeling is frustration, and the observation is that the recipient walks away while the speaker is talking, okay? Now, the I statements also, they can focus on why the speaker feels a certain way, as well as what they'd like to see, so the kind of need, if you will. So using I statements is assertive but not aggressive, and that's important to note because we don't want to be aggressive, but we do need to be assertive, and it's hard to kind of find the fine line sometimes for some of us. So what you don't want to do is use an I statement masquerading as a you statement, such as something like, I feel like you always do this. So that is, once more, note how this statement is going to place the blame and implies that a negative behavior is consistent, possibly intentional, without any further information, and this can lead to defensiveness and escalation. And what we want to do is de-escalate any kind of conflict, so that's why we use the I statements and the I feel this way when something happens, or I need this kind of thing. So according to about, I think it was 16 different PhDs, experts, the most useful I statements, according to these experts in the workplace, are going to be the following. I feel frustrated that you missed the project deadline. Okay, so you're not blaming anyone, you're just kind of expressing your feelings. Second one, I feel frustrated when deadlines are not communicated clearly because it affects my ability to plan my work effectively. So that would be speaking maybe up to a higher up, which can also be a nice way of expressing your needs. Number 3, the next time I would like you to give me credit for the things I contributed. Number 4, I feel excluded when you don't include me on emails about our presentation, so perhaps to a coworker. Number 5, I feel overwhelmed when given multiple tasks simultaneously because it makes it challenging to prioritize and meet expectations. And the final one for work is, I feel discouraged by the lack of growth and movement in my role at the company. So it's a nice way of saying I don't feel like I'm moving up. And so, of course, you can take these, and if you get our PDF, they're all written out for you, and kind of reword them to meet your own needs. But we're going to go into the most useful I statements, according to these same experts, to use in your personal life or at home, shall we say. So number 1 is, I feel hurt when plans are changed at the last minute without discussion because it makes me feel disregarded. Number 2, I feel hurt when you come late to our lunches. And so again, you're not projecting blame, you're just saying how you feel and the reason, which is nice. Then it gets a little bit, number 3, I get anxious when you don't tell me you're running late. Number 4, I feel very upset when you critique my food choices at holiday dinner, and it makes me think that you don't accept me. So you're saying the need as well as what it makes you kind of feel. 5, a need is expressed here. I need more support when I'm going through a tough time, as it helps me cope with challenges. And finally, I feel upset when I perceive that my boundaries are being disregarded because it's important for me to feel secure in our relationship. And so that's what experts kind of weigh in as like the most useful, but of course you can take any of these and kind of reword them. The main thing here is that you don't want to be saying, you make me feel. Nobody can really make you feel. Or you do this, or when you do this, you're causing me. So you don't want to be just escalating things. You want to kind of like frame things like, when this happens, I'm feeling, kind of thing. And that kind of can tend to like open it up, because if you're attacking someone, or they feel attacked, I should say, it can ignite that kind of defensive energy that is just going to blow things up even worse. So if you're saying, you know, I really feel hurt when so-and-so does this, or when something happens like this, and that's making me feel, you know, then someone else might say, oh, okay, I'm sorry that's making you feel. Just kind of a heads up there. It does take practice, I will say that. So you kind of have to, number 1, be aware of what you are communicating. And in NLP, we say communication is all about what the perceiver takes it to be. So you have to be aware of what you're saying, what you're feeling, kind of thing, and then you can really start to make the changes. So hoping this is useful to you all, and I will see you again next week. Have a great Mindful Monday. Thanks so much.